Hello, today I'm going to be showing you my rock collection. Because I collect a lot of rocks and beach glass and driftwood, pretty much all things nature. And I feel passionate about my rocks, okay? And I think some of them are pretty interesting. Well, I think all of them are interesting, but I think some of them might be interesting to you, maybe. The majority of these were collected throughout the Keweenaw. But a lot of them were collected in the Marquette area. So pretty much that whole strip are where these rocks come from. And I think that's pretty neat. We have a lot of different rocks here. And when I first visited the Keweenaw, especially the more north you go, well, no, Houghton and Hancock were like this too, I think. But when I first visited there, I was pretty amazed by the rocks. Like I remember just thinking, like, I've never seen rocks this color before, because you know, when you get down to see and sift through all the rocks, you'll notice that they're all different, of course, but like when you really just look at a beach there, the rocks are this like mauvey red color, and it just covers the entire beach. And so like the overarching color is that purpley mauvey red, and it's pretty cool, pretty darn cool. So, and a lot of the rocks up there are like this, you know, can you see that? They're overarchingly this like mauvey color, but then they are painted like this. They look painted, but it's like it's probably like lichen and algae, and that is that. And that blew me away too, because I just look at them as like these pieces of art. And you'll find all sorts of colors on these. These are just the ones that I had nearby me. But over the years, we've collected rocks similar to this with like so many different kind of colors on them. Greens, blues, reds, oranges, pink sometimes. And they are just so fascinating. And this one has like a line through it, which is like, interesting. But a lot of them have that sort of color hue, which I love. I really love that. I also have a rock here, which is actually not from the Keweenaw, it's from the Marquette area, that to me looks kind of like the Mesa. That's why I picked this up. And I'm not very good at detecting what an agate is. I'm really learning how to do that, because I know we have a lot of agates here in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. But this one, I don't know if this is an agate or not, but I like it so much. It just really looks like the Great Plains or the Mesa or the desert, you know, like desert rocks. That's what it reminds me of. And in this thing, we have a lot of rocks in this thing, but I think we do have one agate for certain in here. But I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these are agates. This one, I am pretty certain is an agate. Sorry, sorry if it's out of camera. I'm letting it zoom in for a sec. Ooh, here we go. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Do you see it? I mean, I think that's an agate. And it almost feels like a polished agate, because it's like very, very smooth, very shiny. Kind of interesting how that is. Like silky feeling I also don't have other rocks even remotely similar to that. And then like, see, this is another like reddish coloration that you commonly see up north. Now here's another one. Here are actually two that I suspect might be agates, but it's hard to tell. I mean, who knows, you know? I don't know. Other people watching might know. But I shall show you. I mean, how cool is that? That's just one side. The other side has like a ring around it. And that's pretty amazing. I really love that rock. It's so neat. We might have some more potential agates in that thing, but in that cup. But this one's neat too. I don't know if this is an agate. It's kind of, it's interesting how it has this little top to it, right? I mean, like, why does it have that? I do not know. Very cool. It's just so interesting. Why is it shaped that way? Why does it have just that red part at the top and the rest is like stripy? Very neat. We also find a lot of quartz up here, a lot of quartz. Just the most beautiful. I mean, and when you find them when they're all wet, it's like, it's pretty incredible. And you just find them all over the place. I mean, these are probably considered pretty common and probably pretty overlooked, but I was in love with them when I first saw them. Because they kind of have like a glowingness about them, especially when you see just a sea of that red, or even when you come down to Marquette and you just see the sea of rocks and you find so many of these like almost translucent white ones. It's so cool. Should we move on to like the kind of silly rocks that I have? I have one that looks like the genie. I didn't grab that, but or it looks like a genie, but I did grab this one that to me looks like a sloth or a slow loris. Like, come on, he even has a little nose. Come on, he's so cute. But you turn him around and he has like kind of this interesting hole, or not hole, but like a dip in the back of his head. Kinda neat. Kinda neat. Let's see here. I also have this one that looks to me like an orange slice. How cool. And it's like part of its quartz, which is like, right? Like part of that's quartz. Pretty cool. And the other part is like this orangey sort of, I mean, how amazing. And then even the white on it, the quartz part, is pretty spectacular. It looks very like crystal-y, which I appreciate. It's another one of those speckled, like painted rocks. How neat. And this rock, I've never seen a rock like this in my life. And it has bits of quartz in it, and it looks like a piece of art. I mean, how beautiful. Here's the other side of it. Turn that around. I mean, it's amazing. Here's the bottom side. So much quartz on that. And then the top of it. Like it's just so fascinating. I don't know. It's like a little art piece, like a acrylic pour type of vibe. We also have, oh, I don't remember what, it's not limestone. I don't think it's limestone. But it's not obsidian, but it looks like obsidian here because we have so many mines up here. The Upper Peninsula has a lot of old ore mines. And so sometimes you'll see rock that looks like this. And it glistens in the sun. And this one in particular is like that on one side, and then on the other side it's very matte, very dry feeling, and it's like a typical like rock that you would see on the ground. But then that other side, you get that other side and it is glowing. And it feels almost wet to the touch, you know? And it's very nice feeling. But a lot of rocks are like this here. I have a bunch of these, like a lot of littler ones, and supposedly when they were mining and sifting through the ore during the smelting process, this would be the remaining bits after the smelting process. And so it's kind of cool because I feel like I have these many pieces of history with me. Like this exists due to smelting. Like it looks the way it does, it feels the way it does because of that process. We have another one here. I really thought it was obsidian because we also have a lot of volcanic rock here. Black rock is very popular in Marquette, and it's these black rocks that people can jump off of and dive into the water, and a lot of our our rocks in this area are that black color because there was volcanic action going on, I guess. A lot of volcanoes here back in the day, and I don't know if they're still technically, they're not active, right? But I thought I heard somebody say that like it could erupt or something. There's a potential that it could be active again. I don't know, but the rock here, much of it is volcanic rock. So that's why I thought it was obsidian. But after reading further, they said that our like conditions here were right for obsidian. So this is, I might be mistaken on what it's called, but I think it's limestone, or I might be mistaken on that. But it is from the smelting process during the mining days. So there's that again. And then we turn it over. What's that? Very cool. I love how shiny they look, almost like oil or something like that. And we also have, oh, this is the only rock I found like this. I love it. I'm obsessed with this because it's so unique. I do not know if you can see that on camera, but it is shining. Oh, there you go. I mean, it glistens. I mean, and I have no idea what that is. You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea. Is that iron? I really don't know. I like to collect rocks, but I also know nothing. As you can tell. I just think that they're amazing, they're beautiful, and I do like researching about things about this area, you know, about the Upper Peninsula. I love the Upper Peninsula. So, and it's kind of this pink color, or like a, I guess a salmony tan at best, but you know, whatever. Kind of neat. I don't know, it just has these like these iridescent moments on it, and it's amazing. Like, it's like almost like flecks of false gold or something. That's what it feels like. And they even are a different texture, and they just look completely different than the rock itself, but they're embedded in the rock, which is kind of interesting. Yeah. We also have these rocks, these green, they remind me of the quartz, but they're like a green quartz. I haven't found too many of these, but I love them. So I'll show you the first one first, which is sort of, you know, the second one is a little bit more clear about what I'm talking about, but this one, I mean, cool. It almost has like this like iridescent glowing, or I don't know, like a translucent glowing about it. I don't know if you can tell that with this rock. So I'll show you this rock. I mean, in the light, can we just stop for a moment and appreciate the little translucentness about it? And even that side is kind of interesting. But this has at the bottom, both of them have like this like rock at the bottom that's like gray. I'll go back to the other one to show you that one. It's like like a normal, almost like a normal rock, like a normal like gray rock that you imagine in your head on the bottom. And then on the top, it's like this iridescent, like glowing almost green. I love that. I love a good green rock. Speaking of green rocks, this is another one of my favorites. This is not a glowing green rock or a translucent green rock, but this is one of my faves because I love the shade of green. Wow. And on that side. Like, what? Like, it's like, has like normal rock on it, and then this green. And it's interesting because the green feels so much smoother than the gray rock parts. Like, the gray rock parts feel like a rock with a whole bunch of bumps on it and scuff marks, and the green is silky smooth. But it does have this little interesting crevice like on it. Neat. One of my favorite rocks because I love that color. It's just perfection. I'm a big fan of green. You guys can't tell, but I'm also wearing green pants, so I'm in a green look today. But I also have some rocks that I think are just so perfectly round or smooth, or like maybe they're not like a perfect circle or a perfect shape, but there's like something so smooth about them or so uniform about them. A lot of them are, which are flat. And I like to make like little like art creations with them, sort of like almost like a sand creation, but like just with rocks, if that makes sense. And then sometimes I find ones like this that I just cannot stop touching. This one is just, it's kind of like, not your, I don't want to say your average rock, because every rock is different, right? But like, it feels like your classic rock, right? It's got that like almost gritty, it's a little bit more on the smooth side, but it's like kind of got scuff marks, a little gritty. It's that like slate gray with a whole bunch of specks in it. But what makes this rock so special to me is that it is so movable in my hands. Like you almost feel like you can do this, almost like when you are rolling clay or something. It's like a perfect egg shape ball that you can just roll in your hands. And I am obsessed with what I call palm rests or thumb rests or finger rests, I don't know, but these sort of rocks that fit perfectly in your hand, right? And I have a collection of those, but this kind of falls into that category because that's really what I have it for, is just because this is so relaxing and so soothing to me. I mean, and it's pretty, but it's sort of just this egg-shaped little thing. Right? But I just really like to roll it around. Don't focus on me. Focus on that. Like, it just moves around so smoothly. And I'm obsessed with that. Now, I have a few others, but none of those are my favorite. This is my favorite rock of all time. It's green and it fits in my hand perfectly. Like I do this and it fits so good, so good. It looks like this. And I mean, let's see the shape of it here. I mean, so good, so good. It's a little thicker on this end than it is on this end, as you can see. It just is perfect. This is my all-time favorite rock. And I probably could make a whole video about just thumb rests, palm rests, hand rests, that sort of thing, because I find them so therapeutic. Like I'm a pretty anxious person typically, and just keeping a rock in my pocket that fits so perfectly to my hand has been very therapeutic for me. But I do have a few more here. Like this one is a very solid thumb rest. It just fits so perfectly in your hand, my hand. See, it's like thick on one end, thin on the other. It dips. It has a dip, almost like a guitar pick, reminds me of like when you pinch a guitar pick and you're kind of like, I don't know why it's flat, but I like it. And this one isn't super like flat. It has a dip in it, but it reminds me of that. And the other end is not flat. It's interesting. Like there's a dip on one end. The other end is pretty gradual. I don't know. It's perfect for my thumb. And that's the power of a thumb rest. That's the power of it. I mean, in this one, it's so good. It fits right at this part of my hand. You know what I mean? just visual. I don't know. Pretty cool. This one, I think, who wouldn't love this one? It is just so, even visually, quite perfect. Like, who could deny that this is a good palm rest? It definitely doesn't fit as good this way. Fits good with the thicker side near your palm. Near your fingers, I mean, and like in between this part of your hand. So descriptive, right? If it's good like that, but it's thicker here, thinner down here, and as a dip in this middle. So here we go. I mean, that one's pretty perfect. Even on the outside, it looks very visually appealing. Like it looks smooth, and it is smooth. And that's the other thing about a palm rest, thumb rest, hand rest for me, is that they need to be smooth. And that, you know, I can make a whole other video, like I said, about palm rests and thumb rests, because they're it's an art form, and it's curated for you. You know, like everybody's hand size and shape is different. We all have different size like palms, and like, you know, like mine's more on the squarish end of things. And that means that this is gonna fit in my palm, but it might not fit in your palm. It might not fit right for you. And so when you go to the beach, you find yourself a little palm rest, a nice smooth rock, or maybe you like a rough rock. I don't know. That's the beauty of it. But it has to fit right in your palm, right in your hand or thumb. Anyway, those are my rocks. That's my rock collection. I have a lot more rocks, but these are just the ones I chose to show today. And I hope you enjoyed.